Hey everyone, Irit here, and in today's video I want to share with you my October favorites. A little bit late, but I had a lot going on in the first week of November. A few words about what's coming. So first of all, I'll be traveling next week to Japan, which I'm beyond excited. Japan has been on my bucket list for a very long time, and finally it's happening. I'll be mostly in Tokyo and a couple of days in Kyoto. Super excited about it. Not gonna lie, mostly about the stationery shops and art supplies. So if you have any recommendations, please leave them below. Tell me what I should get. I know I'm gonna get the Hobonichi Weeks for 2020. I have the A5 Spring Edition, and while I love the paper, shocker, Tomoe River paper, the book itself is just too big for me because I did use it for planning and journaling, like daily journaling, but I have been enjoying the traveler's notebook format a lot more, the standard size and the smaller passport size. So I don't feel like I need an A5 Hobonichi. Those are hard words to say. But that's my current plan, to buy the Weeks and just have it for planning and then do everything else, you know, art journaling, memory keeping, all those things in sketchbooks or traveler's notebooks. So that's what I know I'm gonna buy. And then probably I think I'll try to search for some vintage books for junk journaling. And that brings me to the next point. I have decided I'm gonna do a December daily this year, but I'm going to do it probably in like a junk journal, traveler's notebook kind of format. So I haven't decided yet. If I find a vintage book that has kind of a December feel and I really want to turn it into like a full-on junk journal, you know, make the signatures, everything, if I find one that calls my name and speaks to me, that's what I'm going to do. If I don't, I'll probably stick with a traveler's notebook insert and maybe create my own, like a junk journal insert, or use one of the empty ones that I have. But I'm leaning more towards the junk journal because I really feel it's more inviting to write. It's less intimidating with like the blank page, and you can create it in a way that you have kind of more basic pages and then other pages that are more busy or illustrated or something like that. So if you're in the mood to decorate, you can, but if you're in the mood just to journal, you can find kind of a busier page and just journal a little bit on it. So I really like it. Another aspect that I like about junk journaling is use, you know, papers that I might otherwise toss. So that is very appealing to me. Also, moving forward, that is definitely the direction that I want to go in, which is buying like vintage books or, you know, used books. They don't have to be like super vintage, but just reduce as much as I can the purchasing brand new things. So let me know if you're doing a December daily, what format you're using. So those are the plans for, let's say, the near future. Japan thing. Of course, I will share with you everything that I buy on the trip, and I will try to post things on social media. It's not a very natural thing for me to do, the whole sharing what I'm up to thing, and that's why I'm very inconsistent about it. But you can follow me on Instagram, and if I'll be sharing anything, it'll be there. But I think I will be, because just like filming all the stationery shops, I do have plans to also do other stuff except go to the shops. But if you're you know, paper addict, stationery addict, all those things, I mean, going to Japan is like the mothership, right? So I'm super excited about that. Okay, moving on. So I'm gonna share with you my October favorites, and I'm gonna move the camera, you know, up there so you can get a closer look at the stuff instead of just seeing me talk and trying to get things to focus on the camera. So let's get into it. Sometimes I feel like I shouldn't repeat myself in favorites videos, but then I think it's actually a good thing to see what I keep using and, you know, not always show like new stuff. So this month I have been kind of painting a little bit more with just watercolors, and I have really enjoyed, again, my studio palette. This is my studio palette. I got it from Jackson's. It has 19 wells, so 17 small ones around here and then 2 large ones here. There's another version that has kind of another row here, but I really feel that it is unnecessary. The way that I like to use mine is have kind of designated wells for each, I don't know, like a main color group that I use. So I have here the light colors, which will mostly have Naples yellow, but can also house something like buff titanium, that sort of thing. Then I have my yellows, and currently there are a couple here. Here I have my orangey reds. Here I have some kind of orangey earth tones. The main one here is the quinacridone burnt scarlet from Daniel Smith. Here I have my opera pink well, which is quite neglected for the most part. This is my quinacridone rose, and I say quinacridone rose, but anything that is kind of similar, like a similar pink, I would just squeeze some here. Here is where I keep all my bright rose type of shades. So bright rose is my favorite from Holbein, but Schmincke also has their brilliant purple that is very, very similar, almost identical. Here I have my Wisteria cobalt violet shades. Here I have my cobalt blue violet. I think the version I have here is from Schmincke. Here is my cobalt teal block. Here I think I had probably something like cerulean blue would be here, ultramarine blue, lavender, and then here I keep the dark colors. This one had mostly perline green. I think this one kind of moon glow, and then here the grays, maybe indigo. And also sometimes if I want to test a new color, see how it goes, if I use it a lot, if I want to commit to it in one of the big wells, then I'll just squeeze a blob. So I have a few of them here and I kind of use them as I go. And if I want to also bring a color that I only have in a pan, so for example I wanted to use Pyrrole Red, then I just bring here the pan. You could add a little bit of water and some paint and it'll stick to it, but it's just such a convenient palette. Really, really works well for me and I just love it. I love having a porcelain palette. It's just, to me, it's kind of the best surface. And if you want something lighter that is more mobile and you also get different size options, then I really suggest trying out a butcher's tray. This one is pretty big. You can see that it's a lot bigger than this, and this is what I used to play with all the Jean Haynes watercolors. I have a dedicated video if you're interested. This is great because you have such a large space to play with. It obviously will work well for you if you have a large, you know, desk or painting area. But they come also in different sizes. But if you want a really big palette, this is a great, affordable, light way to get one that is also not plastic and kind of has a really nice surface. I mean, you can see how nice the paint looks on the enamel. So I also really like that, and it has kind of like that vintagey look, which I can appreciate. So those are really my favorite studio palettes. This one is #1 for me, but the butcher tray works really, really well. You know, you can search maybe for an old one in like Goodwill or a flea market or something like that, and then you can really get a great palette for a cheap price. Now, I did try to paint on the go and managed, you know, it's getting more and more comfortable and natural to me. And the combo that works the best, even though I really dislike water brushes, but it is so convenient. I have this combination, and this is all extremely, extremely travel friendly. This is a regular smaller palette, so just to give you, I guess, an idea of the size, it's really, really nice to have it. So what I have here is this water brush. I've tried a lot. I think this one is the Pentel one, and I really like it. It doesn't drip, it works really well. Then I have here my tiny pocket palette from arttoolkit.com. This is basically a card holder, but it is magnetic, which makes all the difference in my opinion. If you want a very, very travel friendly palette, I do recommend investing in one of these. And I mean, you could get a card holder for like probably $5 or something like that, but it won't be magnetic, and then you'll have to buy the pans and then figure out how to, you know, maybe add some magnetic tape. You can do that, but this is fantastic. I've been loving this. If you also kind of don't want to draw a lot of attention to yourself when you're out and about and sketching, this is very discreet. And then the sketchbook I have here is the Hahnemuehle small sketchbook. The paper is beautiful. It has some granulation, so you can see I was just like playing around with just sketching a little bit. This was an Urban Sketchers meetup, and here I was just playing around with some trees. I did all of this outside. I'm very proud of myself, and I really think that this very, very small compact setup helped me out a lot. I said it before, I really don't like water brushes, but then having to bring another cup and a bottle of water and then brushes, it's not a big deal, but this is really, really easier. And especially if I, you know, even if I go out with my kids, this allows me to get everything set up super fast and then draw for even 5 minutes and then put everything back. I've been loving this. Now, again, going back to watercoloring indoors, I also want to mention that I've just been really enjoying this palette. I think you've probably seen it in my video reviewing this book, the Art for Joy's Sake journal. And this has mostly Aquarius watercolors, but also some white knives. They come in full pans. The formula is very similar, and I kind of curated this palette that has 14 full pans, and I've been loving it. Loving the color range, loving this as kind of my limited palette. And if you want to know exactly the colors, let me know and I can do a video. But really enjoying it. Also enjoying the full pan size. Love it. And the brush that I've been really enjoying is the Escoda number 14 Ultimo Alvaro Castagnet brush. This comes in a set. I think this particular set only comes with 2 brushes, so number 14 and number 18. For the kind of size that I mostly paint in, this brush is large enough. I haven't really painted with this one, but I do hope to paint a little bit on a larger scale, so I'll probably use this one. It doesn't have that very beautiful look of these mop brushes, but it still is a really, really beautiful brush. It has that very fine tip. This one, by the way, if you're wondering, is also Quill. Quill is the, not mop. The numbers are kind of meaningless. You have to read the measurements if you want to make sure you're getting the right size. This is the Princeton Neptune number 8 Quill, and then this one is the Escoda Ultimo number 18. So you can see it's kind of the same size. Yeah, anyway, these are also, if you want a very, very soft quill brush, these are even softer than the Alvaro brushes. This one is just a beautiful, beautiful quill. I'll stop touching it. It's so pretty. But yeah, this is a really lovely brush. It holds a lot of water, a lot of pigment, and then it has that super fine tip, so you can get also like very detailed lines. Really enjoyed it. And this palette. I also want to mention again this book that I reviewed. The reason I only made 2 pages, you can see the whole process of one of them in the dedicated video that I made. There are also other reviews on YouTube. If you're interested, you should check those out. So this was one that I did, and then the other one is here. And I really want to get into it. So I can't say that, you know, I've been painting in this all month, but I have been itching to, it feels like a challenge because there's Christie's, the writer or artist, because there are these pages that include her artwork. It kind of makes me want to, like, as a challenge, to finish this and have this book be completely full of beautiful colors. So I did enjoy the 2 pages that I made here, and I'm excited to come back to this. Okay, 2 more things I want to mention. If you're curious, I'm still loving working in these little traveler's notebook inserts. I love the Webster's Pages cover. These fabric patches are from Sticky Club, and they came as part of kits. They have really nice sales. I recommend checking it out. Maybe they'll do a Black Friday sale, I don't know, but they sell like older kits for really great prices, and these came in some of the older kits that I got on sale. Not every kit will have a fabric patch, so you know, make sure you check those out, but they're so beautiful. The quality is lovely. So this one was like I don't know, princess fairy tale type of thing. This one was the Hamster Cafe, I think they had a kit, and then I can't remember what this one was for, but I really love them. So still loving this. And another thing I want to mention, you can see the results of using this in my Halloween video. If you haven't seen that one, it's a really fun one. Check that out. I used this for printing printables in that video, but I also use it to print photos for my Disney insert. I will link to all the videos, relevant videos that I'm mentioning also below. So this is a bit of pricier photo paper, I guess, and this is compatible with inkjet printers. The quality of this, it's sticky backed and it has a matte finish. This is beautiful, beautiful to feel. The colors turned out gorgeous on it. I highly recommend, if you're searching for something like this, this one works really well. It is kind of pricey, but I think it's really worth it, especially if you're doing like more of a special album documenting a trip or something like that, and you want this kind of format. I think it's worth the price. That's it. I hope you enjoyed this video. I wish you a wonderful day. See you soon in another one. Bye.